Good morning, YouTube gang. It's Mellow DFS coming to you live and direct. Here to give you my favorite plays for DraftKings and FanDuel. We have a 14-game main slate on DraftKings, but an 8-game slate on FanDuel. Hope everybody's having an amazing day. Feel free to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Press that bell icon to always stay notified for new videos. Let's get right into it, y'all. Going my first play, we'll be looking at Quentin Maeda going against Detroit. Now he's 9,200 on DraftKings, looking about 10,000 on FanDuel, but is in a great spot here. 8 for 34 against the Tigers at a 235 batting average as well. Looking at going mostly 5 righties, 4 switch hits, and which is righties. He has a 496 OPS against righties. Just love this play in general, as Maeda to me is a good spot. Looking into his scoring. Now, the last 4 games at home this season, he's averaging around 29.6 fantasy points, which he had that 30 against the Indians at home. He had 21 against Detroit at home. He also had 38 against the Brewers at home and 28 against the Cleveland Indians. So as you can see this season so far at home, he's doing well, and he's in a great play against Detroit. In the past 2 games versus Detroit, he's averaging 21 fantasy points, as you can see, at 22 and 20 in the last 2 against Detroit this season. So I like this play. Detroit's averaging around a 28.2 strike rate versus right-hand pitchers, and whereas he's averaging a 32 strike rate so far, and 33.9 strike rate against right-hand bats, a 10.7 strikes per 9 innings, averaging a 2.71 ERA. So I love this play for Quentin Maeda as my first pitcher for today. All right, going to our next play. Let's go to our first baseman. All right, now going to a guy that I definitely like here. He will be my cover guy. Will be Ronaldo Nunez. All right, as he's in a great play against Boston, he has great stats as well against Eovaldi. He's 7 for 12 with a 583 batting average with 2 home runs as well, averaging a 1.782 OPS and 796 OPS against righties, and Eovaldi's worst hits against righties at an 865 OPS, and he's doing great as he has 16 last game, 13 fantasy points in the last 2 games, in which 4 out of 5 home runs so far is against right-hand pitchers, and 9 out of 12 RBIs against right-hand pitchers in the past 20 games. And so he has averaging a 583 ISO, a 728 WOBA against Eovaldi too. So love this play. He's cheap. 3,600 on DraftKings is too cheap here. 3K on FanDuel. So I like this play for Nunez here. Let's go to our second baseman position, in which I want to look at Scott Kingery. All right, he's in a good play against Washington. Now he's 2,600 on DraftKings, too cheap here, and he's looking at 2,200 on DraftKings. FanDuel. Looking at his game against Fetty, as he has a 4 for 9, 444 batting average with a home run with a 1.5 OPS against Fetty, as he has a 814 OPS against right-hand bats. So going to this play with Kingery here, he did have 14 last game, even though they took that L. He lost 7 to 8 yesterday, but he did have a home run. Hopefully he could keep it going today back at Washington, which is a hitter-friendly park at Nationals Park. He has a 385 ISO, a 388 WOBA versus right-hand pitchers, and like I said, he also had a stolen base against Fetty, and averaging a 556 ISO, a 605 WOBA against Fetty. So going to this play here is too cheap. Nice little value spot to consider here with Philly against Washington. All right, let's go to our next spot. Going to our third baseman position. Now going to third baseman, we'll look at Jose Ramirez. Now he's been crushing Chicago White Sox recently. He's 5,800 on DraftKings. He is expensive here. But he is, let's look at his price tag on FanDuel, which is 3,900, so he's manageable. But loving this play. As you can see in the last 2, he had 20, 27 in the last 2 games against Chicago White Sox. He's also averaging, 26.5 fantasy points in the last 3. He did have a 32 fantasy point game recently as well. And he had 4 home runs in the past 3 games, 2 home runs in the past 2 games against Chicago White Sox. Also was in a perfect lineup 3 games straight with a 294 batting average against Giolito, with a home run against him. So he does have a good batter versus pitcher matchup against Giolito. So something to consider at this play. All right, so check him out. He has an 62 OPS against Giolito. but he could do well here. So he had a home run with 3 RBIs against him. He had a 235 ISO with a 367 WOBA average against Giolito. So you go to this play here if you feel like you want to go up and hopefully get crush it once again. He's been on a huge streak lately, so something to consider. Or you want to go with a nice little cheaper play with Joey Wendell for Tampa against the Mets, as he's 3,800 on DraftKings. You get him for 2,600 on FanDuel. He's a good spot against Walker. He has a 903 OPS against lefties, and he also has his best hits against right-hand bats. He has also done well recently. Check him out. He had 11-13 in the last 2 games, but 11-13, 23 against the Mets in his last 3 against them. He also had 2 stolen bases in the past 2 games against the Mets, averaging 12 fantasy points. So I love this play, knowing he could get some stolen bases here to pay up this value play. So something to consider at this play with Joey Wendell in this spot for today. All right, and let's go to our last play, going to our outfielder position. All right, going to the outfielder spot. All right, we'll look at Eddie Rosario. I like this play against Detroit. I like this Minnesota stack here. They're looking at a 5 implied total here against Detroit. He's 4,200 on DraftKings. Get him for 3,100 on FanDuel. Love this play for Eddie Rosario, and he's been crushing Detroit lately. 15, 14, 21 in the last 3 games against Detroit. At home against them, he had 5 for 5 home runs, 14 out of 14 RBIs against right-hand pitchers in the last 20 games. Going against Maeda, he averaging a 8.49 ERA against left-hand bats. He's only averaging around 5 fantasy points in the last 2 games against Minnesota this season. So love this play going against, I think, Casey Maeda. But Eddie Rosario, great spot, 841 OPS against righties. So he should have a hard time with him. But I like Eddie Rosario here, just like a great stack with Minnesota. You could go with like Buxton, Kepler, just a nice righty-lefty matchup to consider for your line. So these are my plays, y'all. I like the plays for today. Definitely give a thumbs up. Any questions, comment below. Using Draft Dashboard tools, as you can see, is a 24/7 live data, hands-on, and it's real simple, straightforward. You get access to the player pool. It's only $1 up to 30 days to get this access, y'all. So definitely check out my link in the description. Once you sign up, get access to the MLB cheat sheet, your sleepers, your studs. Click on the watch players. You get access to your player pool, and you'll see Watch MLB DFS picks button up top, either DraftKings and FanDuel, and also includes NHL, NBA, and NFL for week 3. All right, so definitely check that out. Also, you go to your lineup optimizer to generate either a GPP or cash lineups, y'all. So definitely check that tool out, because it's real good for any type of tournament that you usually play, double ups, or even single entries or GPP tournaments. So definitely check that out, y'all. So I love y'all. Y'all collect that bag for today. It's MLB DFS, and y'all stay blessed, and I see y'all in the next video.